Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel, see how to. Click on the subscribe button below and also click on the bell beside this. This will notify you once we drop a new video. Thank you.
Comes from?
I think partly from Nigeria. I think we have a very complicated history with Africa, especially when you speak from France. But I think that we discussed with the governor, in the state, in this city, 2/3 of the population is under 35, which means that 2/3, at least, of your people just never experienced colonization. And it's true for a large part of Africa. And, the common approach between Africa and Europe, and especially between Africa and France, were totally framed by the post-colonial relation. I'm sorry, but the new generation never experienced this colonialism. My generation never experienced colonialism. It's part of our history, obviously. You have to recognize the bad and the negative pages of this history. And you have to recognize all the past deeds and face them. But you have to move forward. And if you are always polluted by this certain vision, you never move forward. Which means how to build the future for Africa. And for me, and we discussed that with Femi, it's to change this relation. European leaders are not here to lecture African leaders. African leaders are here to take care of their people. And none of us are here to leave the young generation to believe one second, that their future is outside Africa. They have to build their future here in Africa, and we have to help them.
So, in the spirit of positive movement forward for Africa and Francophonia relations, I teased the audience a little bit online with a little secret that you might be revealing. Can you share with us the announcement that you have to make this evening?
Thank you very much. What we wanted to launch this evening is the African Culture Season 2020. We decided to organize everywhere in France for 2020 a series of events about African culture. But the new thing is that it will be for Africa, for African artists, by African artists, and with African leaders, business community, influencers, and African people. What does it mean? Is that first, we appointed a Franco-Senegalese curator, Mrs. Fall, and she is here with us, and thanks very much. And her team is made by a series of young curators coming from all over the place in Africa. You will have contemporary artists, painters, people involved in fashion, in movie, visual arts, architecture, all the different arts existing and present in Africa and especially in Nigeria. It will be about the new generation of artists coming from Africa. It will be organized by them and for them in order to show to France and Europe what it means, and not to provide, always the same visage, the same figure of Africa. And it will be financed and organized by African leaders. All these events will be financed by African business. It will not be sponsored by European or French businesses, but that's organized by African business. It's brand new. And we discussed that with a lot of my friends, and I want to thank them to be here. Angelique, and I want to thank Yusundur, and we had this discussion a few months ago in Dakar, and a lot of your people, and that's exactly in line with what we discussed with Femi and the family. This cultural season is a unique and brand new event because it will be the face of African culture in Europe, but organized by Africa, with Africa, providing what you like, what you love here.
That sounds amazing. A round of applause for the Cultural Season 2020. Now, Monsieur le Président, I have one last question for you.
Negative. But we are a little bit always paradoxical when we speak about Africa. Some people say, this is a tremendous continent. This is a unique place with young people, with a lot of opportunities and blah, 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 blah. And at the same time, a lot of people say all this negative message is just because what we need is to have African people speaking about Africa. It's a big problem we have. And I have to say, it's the same when you speak to French people as a French president. It's very hard to explain true things about Africa. Because you always replicate, mirror, the European obsession about Africa when you speak about Africa. You always speak, even when you provide tough or positive message, with a sort of biased approach. When I say we need a new narrative, we need is new people to make this narrative. I think what we need is a new generation of artists, of entrepreneurs, of people coming from civil society, of journalists, of intellectuals, coming from Africa and explaining, speaking about Africa in Europe and everywhere. That's the main thing to be organized and the main way to change precisely this look at Africa.
A round of applause for the President of France. Monsieur le Président, merci beaucoup pour votre simplicité. I will now take you back. Cheers.
Thanks very much, and I have to say that this new narrative, all this new thing and what we will try to organize with our policy, with this cultural season and these events, I mean, have a huge debt to Femi, Felakuti, Sharon and the whole family. Because the family provided, not just in this place, but through its style, its commitments, and especially the different battles of your father, a very strong message. The message that it was possible, even now, to decide your own future. Never forget this message.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please stand by for a message from Lagos State. Can we play the Lagos State message? Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching our videos. And importantly, you need to subscribe because we drop videos almost every day. And how to subscribe? There's a circle here written Gua TV. Click on it, you see a subscribe button. Click on the subscribe button. That's so that if you have a big show coming up, any event, you can call us.